You're listening to the Light Over Time podcast with David Sargent and Korey Bartos. It is March 4th, 2024. Happy to be here. How are you, David?
I'm great. I'm tired. I woke up at 4 in the morning, got started roasting at 4:30. Roaster was on at 4:30, so I've been doing stuff. I went and bought a water heater after work today and hauled that thing home.
Dang, full day.
So,
How much coffee have you
full
drank?
day. A lot. A lot from 4 in the morning until recently an iced Americano at what is it now? It's almost 7. So 5:30 p.m. I was drinking an iced So I have no coffee. I think this is the first LOT that I've had that I have no coffee because I don't have decaf in my house right now. So
That's fair. I have whiskey right now, so I'm drinking chicken cock bourbon.
All right.
I also happen to kind of bop around all of Michigan. Drove all the way to Port Huron, went to East Lansing, came back this weekend, and stopped in Ypsilanti and got some Hyperion, a Honduras that they had, one of the relationship farms they got. And oh man, did I just need a really solid bag, and it's crushing. It's doing a lot for me. So shout out Hyperion because that was delightful.
I need to grab some more of their stuff.
Yeah, the something Nunez farm. There's 2 of them. 2 coffees they have from them right now. It's delightful. So definitely check that out.
Nice.
I think they still do free shipping to Michigan. I could be wrong though.
Oh.
I guess at one point it was free shipping within Michigan. All right, so got a little bit of a show today. I got a handful of things that maybe we'll get to, maybe we won't. But I'll start with in your busy time, have you been out to shoot at all?
I think just one time. It was last week, I believe. And I only got a chance to look at the images. I haven't had a minute to sit down and edit. And I just recently today looked back at them, and I sat on them because I wasn't very inspired by what I took, even though I enjoyed doing it. But looking back on them today, I actually feel like I'm going to sit down and edit them tonight because I think I like a couple of them more than I thought I would.
Oh, love that.
And I don't that didn't ever used to happen to me very often, but now that my time is so constricted with other things, I don't know, my brain was just like, I'm gonna set this down and come back to it later and hope that I like it more later, and I guess that I did. So I will be looking at them a little bit closer tonight. There's some stuff in there that I think are pretty neat, maybe not mind-blowing and maybe not in my usual wheelhouse either, but I was out walking around Marquette with just the 50 mil and the Sony A7 IV, having a good time. And about a half hour in, one of my coworkers, one of the baristas at the shop, texts me and says, "David, look out! There's supposedly an active shooter, like a few blocks from you." And I look up and around, and I'm right downtown. And I texted her back. I'm like, it's dead. Like, there's no sirens, there's nobody running around, no screaming. And she's like, weird, this guy just came in and yelled about like a possible situation near you. And I was like, okay, well, thanks for the heads up. And she sent me a link like 5 minutes later. There was like this situation like 7 blocks from me, but it was like a total like an alarm failure thing. So like 20 police units arrived at that building thinking there was like some intruder, but there was nobody at all. It was just a faulty alarm system. So I was like, thanks for the heads up, at least. That's cool.
Yeah, good to know that people are looking out for you. Hey, we know David's walking around downtown. That's not great.
So like I had this almost weird fight or flight instinct where I recalled the last time that happened to me. I was at home and someone texted me saying there was a fire downtown in Charlevoix. And in that moment, like, I didn't think about anything other than I'm just going to get downtown and go take pictures of this thing. And in my head, I was like, is this like a thing where I should go up and take pictures of like the response from the police? And then like it took me half a second later to go, no, I should probably not go near the scene.
Nah, it's not like a fire where it's miraculous and there's something to take photos of. It's like just danger and
for my safety.
Yeah,
I should
it's
just
like,
not.
Maybe we don't do that. I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad you thought for a moment.
Yeah, because I don't know. I have respect for like good, journalism, and I've worked in that in high school, and I thought maybe that was going to be a career of mine. So I just have that mindset of like, maybe I should be there to report on this or something.
Yeah.
As a photographer too, I think a lot of photographers could probably relate to that. I should probably capture this moment, right? But choose your battles wisely.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the only time I got out. I'm excited to look at those pictures tonight, and I guess we'll check up next time with how that went.
Yeah, love that. I've been kind of back and forth. I actually kind of got a hair in my butt this week, sometime in the last 24 hours. I realized that Elle has a iPad, and I am like so annoyed with my workflow right now. So at work, I take photos, I put them on a Windows PC, I edit them in both Lightroom and Photoshop, and then I put them on Google Drive so I can get the full resolution photo onto my phone easier. And I'm used to it because I do it so much. I literally do it daily for work. I literally use that every single day, but I hate it. And I'm not quite ready to go into a MacBook. It's a big amount of money, and if I'm going to buy one, like I need to have like at least the mid tier. Like I want to have a decent amount of RAM. I want to have at least 1 terabyte of storage on it. Obviously, I have a lot of SSDs and stuff, so that'll be fine. But ideally, if I could go even higher, like 2 terabytes built in, that'd be super nice. I kind of reconfigured both of my home PCs and realized that like I think this is the last time that I build like a gaming PC. I'm slowing down on gaming a ton. I still basically play Counter-Strike, so my 2080 Ti is plenty.
Yeah.
But my video editing will begin to suffer. It already is. This isn't quite the best. And I have a 1070F from Intel, which is a pretty dang good chip, and then I have a 2080 Ti. So it's really solid for like mid-range stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But once I start getting into bigger projects and stuff, which I believe I'm going to start doing pretty soon, I'm going to need horsepower. Yeah. So I'm playing with that, and that's a lot of fun. I really like the Apple Pencil. It's probably one of the coolest things that I've ever used. I like being able to even zooming in Lightroom is easier, and I just felt really fast.
Really?
I just gave it a trial today, so I have this cute little Anchor USB-C card reader that looks like a tiny thumb drive, and you slip an SD card onto it, so it's like there's no footprint. You just slam it in the bottom, and you can import them into Lightroom on the iPad. And that's really cool. Obviously, I have a couple of trips coming up. She'll be coming with me to Korea, so I'm probably going to try to elect to take that and just utilize that workflow.
Cool.
I'm going to do a little bit of looking at how other people in the professional photo space are kind of utilizing some of those tools and seeing if there's a way that I'm not noticing to just like kind of increase that throughput, because I don't like editing on like my tiny laptop, even because the screen just isn't as good as my full 27 inches and stuff.
Sure.
So, and it's not like intuitive. So when it's that small, I'm like, I can't see anything, and you need to be able to zoom in and out quickly. And I just found that none of that was really a hassle with the iPad.
Was that one of the newer iPad Pros you're working with?
Yeah, I don't know exactly which model it is,
Sure.
but it's,
I've heard nothing but good things out of those.
Yeah, it's pretty killer. So, definitely into that. One of the things that happened this weekend, I guess late last week, was I got a Polar Pro email that they were doing a collaboration filter with Short Stash, Garrett King on Instagram, a guy I've been following for years. I use his like silly little Instagram filter all the time. And what it is it's like 1/4 mist filter and a CPL. So it's a circular polarizer and a mist filter built into one thing. And it's like green anodized. It's like OD green kind of. And it was a fair price. I didn't even notice. It was so crazy. I've been wanting a CPL for a while because I was shooting some car stuff, and I'm trying to just like branch out and get back into like really marketable photography again. And I was like, man, I just have this like really gross like sun pack like circular polarizer from like 20 years ago, and because that's as much as I've ever wanted to use it.
Sure.
But it's kind of crucial for cars. It's really good for automotive photography.
I could see that.
And obviously I've never used it for like landscapes or anything like that, but it does a lot for skies. It does a lot for water. There's like a bunch of stuff. I'm novice at best with a CPL. So I keep a Moment Cine Bloom 10 on my 35mm like all the time. So I just said, okay, cool. That looks amazing. I'm going to buy it. And then it turns out there was only 75. And then they're taking pre-orders now.
There was only 75 units made?
Yeah.
Oh,
and I don't
God.
know if that was for each SKU, because there was like down to 49mm for like the X100s up
Sure.
to 82mm. So I don't know if there was like 75 each, or if like across the SKUs there was 75, but there was only 75.
Imagine each.
But like the second I literally refreshed, the second it dropped into my email, I was just like, I don't even know what compelled me. I went, oh, that's exactly something I need. I love that it's green. Bye.
Wow. They
And
got you
because
good.
I just had sold some stuff
Yeah.
on Reddit and had like $160 in my PayPal.
Cool.
And it was like $80. It was about as much as any decent filter is.
Yep.
And I like Polar Pro stuff. I also like Garrett, so like I was like, okay, cool. This is like a cool product.
Neat.
I haven't played with it a ton, but it already has helped something that I didn't even realize. I never made the connection that this problem would go away instantly if I just got a CPL, which is when I'm doing top downs or just like on my tabletop work photos of our products and stuff, I'm always battling the shine from my big house lights. I have all my small rig, like 220s and stuff. And I just like, I'm always using like radiant filters or gradient filters, radial or gradient filters to kind of fight that and like drag the highlights down. And it doesn't look great, but it works for Instagram for just like quick posts. You know, I'm turning this stuff around every single day. But then that just does what I need it to do. And I was like, wow, this really is like an everyday filter. It's going to live on my 35.
Wow.
So that's been kind of fun. The next big thing is it's March 4th, and I pre-ordered the X106 like within the first 25 minutes that it was available to be pre-ordered, and mine hasn't shipped yet.
Uh-oh.
So I am sad.
Yeah.
I was thinking about starting the show as it's March 4th, and it has been 4 whole days, and I still haven't got a shipping notification for my X106. So I'm not going to cancel it. I'm gonna stick through. I'm even more excited. In fact, I even already bought like a third-party filter adapter, and
now you're committed.
yeah. And this is a Tiffin Black Pro Mist quarter
Nice.
for it. But I leave for Paris on March 31st. So like, I'm like, I really want it to get here before I go to Paris, because like if it doesn't get here, like I'm just taking the 35 and my Sony.
Yeah.
I've sold my 20-70, so I no longer have that lens.
Oh, already. Wow.
Yeah, and I sold it and just dumped that money right into the X100. And I got a very good deal on it, so I made money on it because I traded some lenses in to buy that in the first place. So that was pretty good. But
Nice.
yeah, the anticipation for that is really, really huge. I have been trying to think about all the things that I'm going to shoot there, the ways that I want to try and capture, because this is a trip with my mother, and I've never taken a big trip with my mom. And my mom's also a photographer. She's why I got into photography. So she'll have her Canon R10, and I'm just going to go bananas. Like, she was like, we're just going to go check cool stuff out and hang out in Paris and London. She just wants to go see, like, the Eiffel Tower. We're going to go get a bus pass and just, like, bomb around Paris for, like, the whole day.
Heck yeah.
Have, like, a breakfast or a birthday dinner and stuff. So it's going to basically be a photography trip. And, yeah, so I've just been kind of trying to get inspired and get ready for that, taking photos here and there. I went out to St. Joe. I shot a few photos out there, which was really nice. Had some pretty good coffee. There's a place called Infusco in this like cute little indoor market thing.
Oh
that
yeah,
had,
I think I saw your
like,
stories.
yeah, and oh man, it was like a hot latte, with some spicy seasoning in it, and that was good. That was delightful. I've been really into them because Factory was doing a hotter hot chocolate, and Elle got it as a mocha, and I think we had probably like 15 over the last month or whatever. So I got super addicted to hot lattes, spicy hot lattes.
We're doing a hot honey cardamom latte right now for this special of the other month.
I bet it's delicious.
I have yet to try it, but I will try it when I go in tomorrow.
You should. This was a hot honey something or another latte, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna try it tomorrow.
I'm a little sucker for cardamom too, so I bet it's delicious.
The syrup's good. I tried the syrup.
Nice.
When we were testing it out.
But yeah, so took some like beach photos out there, and it just been kind of vibing and shooting and doing the thing.
Nice. Yeah, that X100 would be super ideal for Paris. That'd be awesome.
I know, it's going to be so good. I just hope that it shows up. I mean, I got it from B&H. It's going to be a 2-day shipping if it ships. So like, even if it's like the 27th, I'm still gonna get it. So
Right. Yeah.
it is shipping to work though, and we don't take mail on the Saturdays.
You're
So
gonna
like
just show up on Saturday and just
it,
wait.
no, they just hold it because they know not to bring it to our shop.
Oh dang.
So we won't get it until I'm in Paris if it shows up in that last little bit. So I'm hoping like I get a shipping notification that Monday and it's just good to go.
Could you just go to the? I mean, if it happened to be on that Saturday, just go to the UPS warehouse and be like, "Yo, that's my name on that box."
If I'm really lucky, but
I've done
we'll
that a couple
see.
of times.
Yeah, I mean it's just going to be a timing thing because I got to
Yeah.
get all the way to the east side of the state that Saturday. So,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, so that's I mean that's kind of what's going on here. There's a lot of news about the X106. The reviews were pretty good. I mean, there's give and take with it over the V, which people are calling the 5 now.
Sure. Yeah.
Because it went from that 26 megapixel sensor, which is really, really solid and super great, to this 40 megapixel sensor. So you're going to take a hit at some stuff. But the freaking IBIS and the ND filter in it,
Yeah.
both built in, is crazy. And I didn't even realize what that meant for my photography, but that means f2 wide open and sunshine, slow shutter drag stuff. I was like, oh my God, it's like beautiful.
Yeah.
Just
enables more creativity.
Yeah, and the freaking IBIS looks like it works really great, like down to like a quarter second. Like, I'm super stoked. It's gonna be perfect. Like I said, I basically only use this 35 mil, and I've been stopping down a lot more. I'm not at 1.4 very much anymore because I'm usually trying to get, unless I'm doing portraits. I like pretty shallow portraits still. I'm a sucker for them, but that's usually a piece of a bigger story. Then I think the other big thing about it is that they moved to Chinese manufacturing. And I don't think that bugs me at all.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. We weren't sure exactly what all that entails.
Yeah, but it looks like they just aren't going to be able to do anything unless they have bigger warehouses pumping out these parts and pumping out these cameras. So the reviewers all said that it feels amazing, and there's like nothing. All the buttons feel like they should. Everything feels fine. So hopefully that is the case, and they're not just going to pump out like doo-doo.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's
a very coveted line of cameras. I'm sure that if it was just not something they could possibly get at the quality they wanted it to be, that they wouldn't have allowed it to come from China if they couldn't do it.
Yeah, and it sounds like their production schedule was something about 7,500 units a month back when it was like actively in stock, and this one they ramped it up to 15K at least, which based off of the pre-sale, I think they crushed out like Sony's last record pre-sale. Like, it's like disgusting. Apparently people are like, nope, everybody bought this camera.
I believe it. This specific line of Fuji cameras has gotten so much attention for years now, and the V itself had been out of stock for a long time,
right?
Just because the demand is so high, and I don't know, probably also that Fuji knew the 6 was coming soon enough that they weren't going to re-ramp up production.
I'm
So
hoping
just let
they
it
had
ride,
like
right?
I'm hoping they had like a pretty fat stock like going out, and I just assume that it's spread pretty thin. So like B&H is going to be one of the places that gets it sooner than other spots. So I feel confident about my pre-order, but I guess we'll see what happens.
And totally makes sense if they have a Chinese manufacturing partner that can pump them out that fast. If they knew the demand was going to be just so much higher than they could do in-house, it makes sense if it's quality's there.
Yeah. Between the HEIF files, which are, I don't know if you've looked too much into that, but it's really nice that I think you can HEIF plus RAW, which is like
like a secondary. That's like an evolution on JPEG, right?
I mean, it's just better than JPEG. It's just a different kind of baked in, not RAW, but holds more data than a JPEG. I forgot that a JPEG is a 90s file type.
Yeah.
Like, it's so antiquated that I don't even know why people use it. Like, at least use PNG, because PNG is better than freaking JPEG. But so I'm just excited to play with that because I've been going a little more tame. I was realizing that I was getting pretty punchy and crunchy again on a lot of my edits for work because it works really well for what we do at work.
Yeah.
And that started like trickling over into the other things that I was doing. And I was like, I'm just editing all of these the same. Maybe I need to like start breaking some boundaries again and like getting into some stuff. But so I made a couple more kind of out there personal presets, and have been going back. I actually took all of my photos that I have RAWs still, and I finally have them all in OneDrive.
Wow.
So like I had backups like scattered or whatever, and it's not that many. This is like after I call like a year or two later and delete a bunch of other RAWs that I don't need because like I just don't want to store everything.
Sure.
It's like the if there's like 4 versions of a photo, get rid of 3, keep the 1.
Totally.
It's very, very parsed down, but it's all on OneDrive now.
Man.
I'm gonna.
Years ago, I used to use solely OneDrive, and for whatever reason, at some point, it started becoming problematic. I would download a RAW from my OneDrive folder to look at again or whatever, and the colors would change. And at first, it was like I was starting to notice it here and there, and then eventually, it was every single RAW file would be like way more tinted green. Sure. And I could not, I mean, it was getting to the point where I couldn't even fix it. It wasn't just
Sure.
tint, it was like weird manipulations. That was many years ago. I'm sure that it could have been a user error thing. I have
to
no
be clear,
idea.
I'm not talking about OneDrive, the product. I'm talking about literally a singular hard drive.
Microsoft OneDrive. That's cloud storage thing. Sorry, different thing entirely. I don't recommend it anymore.
Yeah, well, and I don't generally. What sucks and what's challenging is trying to keep all of your XMFs and stuff with your files so it has the metadata necessary to like keep the RAWs. Because when you move them, you either have to open a catalog that saves all that, or you have to like individually save the metadata to all the folders, and then when you re-import it into a new Lightroom, you have to literally scan for the metadata manually, which is a huge pain in the ass too. So I guess like I'm fortunate enough that I'll make virtual copies and then I'll put the TIFFs in there when I'm done, when I round trip them. So I'll never be completely without my final edit. I just won't necessarily be able to go back to all of the original edits and re-edit them like from that starting point. I just start from scratch, which I honestly don't really care, because every time I generally go back to find one of my RAW files to do, I put my current spin on it, and then I export it and then post it anyway. So if I ever revisit any of my files, that's kind of what I'm doing. But I'm trying to get more serious about file storage and all that in general.
So I'm curious about TIFFs because how do you manage the file sizes on those? Because those can get pretty insanely big.
I mean, they get massive, but usually the ones that I actually save, like the full thing on, it's just the one out of like many.
Sure, yeah.
And so I just keep them. I really don't kind of go bananas. I mean, I think I have since 2016 in this like big folder, and I'm sub 11,000 images.
Yeah, okay.
Like that's how much I've parsed down. I have on other folders like a bunch of finished JPEG projects and stuff like that where I kept like just that whole album of a wedding or that or the other thing.
Sure.
But I don't have those RAWs anymore. I just like, I truly, if you want that image, I still have those because I like to keep them for myself. But like, I don't have your RAWs anymore. Those aren't getting re-edited. Sorry.
Wow. So I have kept all of my wedding client RAWs, and they're just, I have like 4 or 5 old drives, old 1 terabytes that they all just exist there somewhere.
Yeah, I was never like a wedding photographer, so it probably would be a lot more serious if it was like a thing I always did. But I've only shot like pretty close friends' weddings or second shot on them. So the people that I second shot for, they probably have all my RAWs still. And that's what, probably I think 4 weddings. So it's not that bad. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable deleting things forever and just going back to finding a JPEG one day and going, this is fine. Who cares?
I've gotten a lot better about that for personal stuff too. And I probably won't need to be like that anymore with how little time I get to shoot personally. But definitely, at least in the last couple of years, I was hit and delete on a lot of big folders. Yeah. Just saving the keepers.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the move, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's all. I mean, that's my big updates. That's where I'm at.
Hey, I did do a video project, a small one, before we move on.
Oh, for what?
For Dead River. I So I'm almost this, like, I'll post like 2 out of 3 posts a week now on our Instagram, and
Sure.
I bring the camera every day. And it got slow one day, and one of the baristas and I just busted out the 50 mil and did a sweet little vertical, a reel for Instagram, and it was just a cappuccino, just making a cappuccino. But I did like tight little, every shot, every sequence was 50 mil tightened up on the drink, and it was kind of neat, just throwing it all together. 50 1.4 wide open, just we got it done. And my workflow is interesting. So using PP11, like the lightest codec on the A7 IV, I am able to edit that file on my phone. So I send it over with the Creators app, and I edit it right in InShot, which it's a little choppy on my Pixel 5. If I take my time, it's not too bad. So I'm hoping to get a better phone at some point this year to make that a much smoother workflow. And I'm sure like a newer iPhone could handle it no problem. But I was able to edit. It was probably like a 8 or 10 minute file, chopped it down to like 35, 45 seconds for Instagram. Just 2-second little chop sequences, and it came out really nice looking. I showed it to my boss right after, before we posted it, and she's like, "How'd you get that to look so beautiful?" I'm like, I don't know, like a decade of experience, and then the $4,000 worth of kit, knowing what I needed to use. It all comes together, just.
Yeah.
So I had fun doing that. That's posted up on the Dead River Coffee Instagram for anyone who wants to see that.
Yeah, I'll link that and everything. That's super awesome. I'm starting to get used to and being okay with grabbing my camera, making a super fast reel, just shooting a handful of clips, slapping them together, throwing some Epidemic sound music on it, and saying, "Cool, that's a reel. Send it."
Yeah,
and just be fun. I'm done. I work in social media now, so like it's just there's never what is the right time to post. It's just more.
It's quick and dirty, but it doesn't have to be lazy. It doesn't have to be shitty. As long as you know what you're doing with the tools, you can make a quick and dirty look great and be impactful, right?
Well, I'm just learning that like it's not going to be your magnum opus. Nothing you do for social media is going to matter beyond when it gets posted. So just make something cool really fast and get kind of good at making something cool really fast.
It just helps people keep their eyes on you,
Yeah, and it's fun. And then it's not stressful. I've just gotten to the point where I'm just like banging out some clips, throwing some music, cutting it up, and going. Is that filmmaking? Hell no. But it pays the bills. So
and you're allowed to have fun if you actually like to do it.
Yeah, for sure. It's been pretty cool. One of the things very photo related this week was, did you happen to see on Instagram people sharing an image of a man smoking a cigarette with a mullet in McDonald's in 1989?
Oh my God, no.
Okay, so I saw it repeatedly for like a couple of days, and it's this like flash film photo of this man with a mullet, and he's smoking a cigarette like in a McDonald's with his burger and his Coke and stuff. And it's just like, it was one of those like, wow, look at how wild this is, that this is what life was like in 1989. And then it was like there was a title that was like, this is just like the I can't even remember, the ideal specimen of a man or whatever the hell. And it was this like stupid thing. And then I saw Petapixel posted a thing, because I didn't think about it, but I saw a couple of people just post it in their like Instagram stories. And it was whatever. It's a freaking AI image.
I knew you were gonna say that. Oh
yeah, but like, if you just look at it and swipe fast, and again, it's it's 3x2, so it was 3x2 within a 9x16 story. So you just look at it, and I'm not looking at the details when you're less than a third of my phone screen. I wasn't zooming in or anything. It's just all over the entire freaking photo is obvious AI. Like, it's not even kind of good. However, the thing that they nailed was like the freaking flash and like the old look of like a disposable.
Wow.
And I was like, well, that's horrifying.
Yeah, because if they can get the ambience
fuel
correct and the lighting looking realistic and amateurish, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what sells it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it up on the screen right now, but yeah, it was absolutely wild. And I was just like, I get like deterred a little bit every single time all of this stuff comes out. And like, I don't know if you've seen Sora recently and how like crazy the video AI stuff is. And I can't remember if we talked about it in the first episode of the season or not, but it's all just like, it's crazy. And then I go, oh no, I forgot. I'm living an entire life and things are really cool. And I just don't care. I don't care about how dystopian everything is because I'm going to keep making really cool stuff. And then one day I'll be old and none of it will matter in the first place. And living that sweet, sweet dream.
Everybody who was paying attention a year ago knew how fast this was going to happen. And it still took us by surprise. You know,
Yeah.
like just how fast and how good it got in a year.
Still taking us by surprise.
Still. So yes, I saw that stuff. I even saw, I think Will Smith did a video of him eating spaghetti, and I can't remember what the caption was, but he noticed as well, like things were ramping up and getting real, and it's
when they made that montage like a year and a half ago of like all the super horrible AI, and it's like a bunch of Will Smith videos, and it's insane. And then now if you look at Sora and you're like, it's been 16 months. Oh boy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's scary. I mean, deepfakes have been around for a while. And now they're gonna just get too good. And
now they're really good and really scary.
Mm-hmm. I don't like to think about it because it's a wild west out there still for that.
Yeah.
You know?
I like it because you know what it's doing to me? It's making me realize just how much social media doesn't matter. And it's making me realize so much about how like the only things I want to consume are like cool things that my buddies are doing.
I love that. And like,
it's making the world really, really huge again. Because I don't have access to a bunch of stuff because I just assume it's not real anyway.
Dude, I've been doing that for a year now, like at least a year. Every piece of content I see online that is not made by someone I know who is not using AI, I'm like, is this fake? Probably is. I don't even know anymore, you know?
Right. Yeah. It's hard to enjoy stuff.
It kind of is getting to that point.
But then I just go, I just have to look at like the stuff from the actual people that I care about.
And that's what I've been doing too more.
Yeah. All of these people don't matter. And like I find myself enjoying like carousels of people's cell phone photos from their trip.
Yep.
And I'm like, wow, it's like social media again because like I don't trust people I don't know and trust.
The scope got bigger and our reactions were to just narrow our perception.
Yeah.
Like bring it back down to where we're comfortable. Yeah.
All that's crazy and fake. Well, I mean, I think there was probably a height. I'm starting to see less now where like literally everything was memes. Mm-hmm. And like you couldn't even escape, like you couldn't even look left or right in real life without just like a meme in your face. And I think people are finally coming back down from it. Because even my buddies and I, we send so fewer memes. We send so fewer reels now. It's like really tamed out. And I can feel like my soul coming back a little bit. And I've been socially distracted in a beautiful way lately, so I guess that helps. But it's truly wondrous to make the world seem so enormous that I don't know what's going on again.
Yeah.
Because like I want to be ignorant. I don't want to think I know all the shit going on because I don't. I'm a goofy dipshit, and that's a better life.
If there's a call to action on this topic at all, it's support your friends doing cool shit and your local artists. I mean, go to your local galleries, your art centers, and just check out what people are doing in real life.
Yeah, and go outside and do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Just go see some stuff, because like maybe it's not like that. Maybe like Mount Rushmore is not even there anymore, and we don't even know because people just keep making it a thing. You know what I mean? Who knows? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's cool. I'm glad I'm just like catching up to where you're at, but it's a beautiful place to be. So
yeah.
One of the next articles that I had also from Petapixel, because they were interviewing the CEO of Sigma again, as they do, and it seems like a wonderful guy. But I love that he personally thinks it's a good idea for Sigma to make medium format digital lenses. I think that's wild. I think what that means is a Fuji system is going to be in a future of mine. Because I think they'll make the kinds of primes that I would really want on a medium format camera. And I think people are going to kind of start seeing that now we're to the point where that megapixel race I don't think is necessarily the thing, but the format, like having a larger sensor, is something that's doable. If we're going to be into mainstream full frame global shutters on cameras, they can re-push the envelope.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting pretty close to, when like kilobytes were actually a measurement that we used. And then now megabytes are like a thing that we use, but like now it's like if a file is a gig, you're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So like I think we're gonna get close to like I regularly have my Photoshop files break a gig all the time.
Yeah.
And it's
For
like
sure.
that's just like that's a 33 megapixel photo.
It just always to me comes back to if they think there's going to be a race, or if there's a talk of a race to something, accessibility has to be part of the conversation. And that's price point when it comes to medium format. It's just how far down can you bring that price? Fuji's been pretty good in the last few years.
I'll be honest, I was looking at getting into one just for fun if I could, and I'm seeing like GFX like 50S's and stuff for like $1,800.
That's wild.
And I go, oh, that's kind of sick, because like, would it be slow? Yeah. Would it be like as fast or as like I bet it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I bet those files would be a blast. And I bet like wrapping your brain around the fact that like f3.5 on a medium format camera is like kind of fast.
Mm-hmm.
You go, oh, this is like a 50 something, like a 56. I don't even know what the like general, a 60 something, I think a 65 mil f3.5 is like a fast standard prime.
Yeah. It would kind of have to force you to relearn some shit, which sounds like a fun, make you feel like a beginner again type of situation.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. I think that's just kind of cool. But I mean, imagine getting like a $800 Sigma 50 millimeter equivalent for a Fuji, and then being able to like go grab a used Fuji, like the last GFX 100 or something silly. For that was a $10,000 camera. You're gonna start seeing them for just like $3,000 or something. Like I'd go buy one for $3,500. It shoots 4K and it's 100 megapixels. Like
yeah, as long as you're not someone who needs high frame rate, really, you can use the system, no problem.
It would be a toy. It would be like it'd be either between a toy or doing like really wild print stuff or like studio stuff. Yep. But it makes it like that's within the realm of like I can probably flip it, so I'll buy it and play with it and get rid of it again. You know what I mean? This is really cool. But it says something that he Sigma's CEO thinks that's a good idea.
That's funny. I hope that means that Sigma will put some medium format lenses on Fuji's system. I would just love to see a day where there's more accessible brands making medium format other than just Fuji to push that envelope a little bit. It is amazing what Fuji has volunteered to do in that this part of the industry, the medium format platform, because they never had to make it that cheap, because relatively it is very cheap, considering Hasselblads are tens of thousands of dollars and whatever else, phase ones and all those. So they didn't have to make it that cheap, but they did. So are we ever going to see Sony make a medium format? I have no idea. Nikon, Canon, probably not, honestly. But if Fuji can do it, and if Sigma wants, I think they honestly probably would have a great partnership doing that.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. He goes on to talk about how like they really needed to get their mirrorless lineup squared away decently before they can make cool stuff.
Totally.
Which is why the 15 like diagonal distorted like crazy ultra wide just happened, and that 500 5.6 happened. They're like, yeah, we finally had a little bit of time to build a couple of neat lenses,
and it sounds like both of those lenses are gonna rock. The 15 looks fun. I mean, I'm not into the fisheye look for most applications. I don't think most people rock a fisheye day to day, but it's cool for if you need a fisheye. And then the 500, it sounds like they're selling. Like I don't know if they went on sale, but it sounds like the demand is high for that, which I believe.
Yeah. Right. I mean, because nobody thinks they're an affordable third party anymore.
Yeah.
They're a company making good lenses.
They've got good brand power because their shit has been high quality for many years now.
Right. So if their stuff is legitimately high quality and they're making offerings that don't exist from first parties, they're just a good lens developer. And then they said something, I can't remember if the Petapixel guys said it on their podcast or not, or if it was just like their assumption, but I think maybe they said Sigma said this, but maybe they were just alluding to it. But it sounds like they would rather be like a Carl Zeiss, which no one ever assumed was bad glass.
Right.
Even though they're a third-party lens manufacturer.
Yeah.
And like I think that's Sigma's there in my mind.
they've been on the long road to that. At one point, they had to overcome a lot of low quality glass, and like how long that stain was there, probably a good decade, right? Of being in the
Right.
same class as something like an old Tamron or old Tokina, those kind of
Right.
guys. They've overcome that in the last 5, 6, 7 years,
Yeah.
so far beyond anyone's expectations that doesn't matter anymore. Like nobody recalls Sigma as the people who made those types of lenses anymore.
Yeah. Unless you're making like decent money, and especially making decent money with your kit, like a lot of actively working photographers are running Sigma glass on Sony bodies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you spend $2,200 on a 24-70 when Sigma's 24-70 is so good?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you go buy the 51.2 for $2,000 when their 50 is so good? It's like, because like I don't have another $1,000 to throw at this thing, so people do that, and it's like,
Or if your
they've
budget's
proven it.
tight and you've got a couple of things on the list you really want to have, like a
Yeah.
flash or anything else,
Right?
and you only got a certain amount of money, the Sigma will
Yeah.
do you good.
I can tell you right now, I bet Sigma alone is what moved a lot of Canon photographers to Sony.
Sure.
Because like if I have to sell, if like the 5D Mark IV was still the best camera after their first 3 mirrorless cameras, and you're like, well, I need to switch to Sony, but I can't spend $12,000 to get my same kit. I bet most of those guys started on Sigma glass. It's wild, and it's super cool. I think a 500 5.6 for a few grand is like bananas.
I haven't looked at any reviews of the lens yet. I'm making some assumptions and comparing it in my mind to Nikon's F-mount PF lens that they did. And
Right.
I know that Nikon couldn't keep up with the demand on that at the time.
Right.
Given it had ultra good sharpness. I think it also had internal zoom, and it was extremely lightweight and more compact than any comparable lens. So they made something really special in that niche. It sounds like Sigma did a very similar thing.
Yeah, I mean this is a $3,000 500 mil prime.
Yeah.
Those, when you're talking about like 4, 5, 600 primes, those are $5,000 to $10,000 instantly. This is thousands of dollars less than competition, and it's going to be insanely sharp. It's a Sigma DGDN. Like that's just the way it is. So that's huge. It's super cool. I would love to see them make some wacky stuff for medium format. I would love to get on a medium format, but Fuji, I'm waiting for my X100. If you want to send that to me and then sponsor this channel, and send me and David a camera each, and then what we'll do is we'll make a series of photo competitions where he and I are doing different genres of photography over the course of all of 2024. I already have the whole, the whole thing planned out. I can give you the pitch deck if you just want to, do the thing. David and I will shoot our butts off this year. I'll turn him into a Fuji photographer. Promise.
Oh, hey, I actually have a Fuji rep. I'll just send that right over to him. I'm sure he'll be on it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Anyway, the other thing is, did you see? I didn't even read these. I just know that I want to know how you're feeling, because we both had like these pie in the sky ideas that we were going to do something cool, and we're both not going to be able to.
What are you talking about? I'm going to do everything I say I'm going to do.
That's not true, because I already know that this isn't going to work out. So Delta Airlines is going to offer a special flight along the solar eclipse path. Crazy. Don't buy that ticket.
You
that
can't
seems
anymore.
silly.
The first one that I heard sold out so fast, and then I think American Airlines did it first, and then Delta did it second, and then opened up another one because they're selling fast. So
it's just dumb.
As soon as you read the article, the tickets are already sold anyway.
Yeah, you want to go find a really cool spot and watch the eclipse. Don't go in a plane where you're not even going to be at the window seat, probably.
That would suck. That would really suck.
Yeah, it's like you're in the center column of an airplane. You can't see anything. Oh, it's dark in here. Neat.
I mean, like the reactive photographer in me would think, okay, I got to turn this into a weird environmental shot ASAP because I can't get to the window. So now I don't even know what I would do. Time lapse. light to dark. You see, I don't know. That would
You're
suck.
you're an asshole with like a flash in like the center. You're like, I'm capturing people capturing the eclipse. It's beautiful. But I believe you said something that you're not going to be able to do anything super cool for it, right? I can't remember what you said was conflicting with that week.
I'm going to, I think it's literally during work hours, but I am going to try and schedule all my shit around that week to make it work. I don't know where I can go or what I can do, but I'm going to get outside and try as long as it's sunny out.
I can't remember what's the week again. What's the day?
Oh God, I don't remember. Was it like the first week of April or like the 12th or something? I sent you something.
I hope it's late. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't really looked at it. So it's April 8th.
Yeah, okay.
So the unfortunate thing about it being April 8th is, we might be good. I get back from Paris on the 7th. So I'll be in London for the second half of that trip. So I fly from London to back
You were
to Michigan.
almost on a plane for the solar eclipse. Damn,
right.
man.
So I'll get back on then. I guess I can try to go south because I think I have to go to like Toledo.
No, dude. I mean, if you want absolutely 100% sure, but you're going to be so close, your experience will be so similar.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm pretty close in Kalamazoo. We'll see what happens. I'll try to figure something out. I'll see sometime in the next couple of weeks what it looks like at the shop and see if there's something I can do while I'm at work on Monday to make a really cool shot.
Sure.
Maybe have Zach on standby with like really gnarly kit and like night vision or something and make something really cool about it.
Do you have the time up? What time of day on the 8th?
I can't remember. I probably just pulled it away. But April 2024 solar eclipse. Timing. Somebody give me a map. NASA, give me a map, you beautiful, beautiful bee. That's not a map. That is actually super complicated. Oh, now I'm literally watching a time to total totality. Is 11 hours? Why? No, just show me. This is so confusing and meaningless.
Well, I was hoping you could break it down nice and simple for listeners, so if they want to, they could get out and maybe share with us if they happen to catch anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too. I think I can get it. Nope, this is very confusing. It's the whole path. I'm going to link something in the show notes. Oh, here we go. So if you are in where we're at, which will be somewhere in Ohio, like Dayton, Ohio, is going to be 1:53 p.m.
Okay.
Total eclipse begins 3:09 p.m. EDT. So, and that obviously
so there's
out.
like an hour and a half of partial eclipse, total eclipse, and probably another hour and a half of pass.
Of partial eclipse end,
So we're talking like almost 6 hours of front to back.
It looks like from 1:53 to 4:25.
Oh, okay. Not too bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that starts, it's going to be around Texas, 1 p.m. CDT, Carbondale, Illinois, the Dirty Dale, shout out. 1:59 p.m. is total eclipse begins. And then let's go to like New York will be total eclipse begins like 3:23 p.m. EDT.
So we're talking.
Then if you're over. So
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say some more stuff. So like you're looking at the end of the United States by like 3:31. So if you're over in like Labrador and stuff, it's later in the night, like 5:13 p.m.
Oh, that's actually kind of sick because where we're at, sun's gonna be high in the sky. So your compositions are going to be limited unless you shoot wide, which is fine. But if you shoot longer, you're going to have really limited options for composition unless you're just going to crop right into the sun, which a lot of people do. I've done in the past for eclipses. I think because I've done one solar and a couple lunar eclipses now tight and on longer ends, I think I would probably take a more wide environmental approach this time, especially because the impact of light to dark is going to be quite big for us. Being a damn near total eclipse, it's going to get from light to quite dark within that totality. So I would be inclined to set up like a time lapse or something for the like 10 minutes before, 10 minutes after, or hour before, hour after, something like that, because that I think is going to be something that I may not ever see again. I don't know when
Yeah,
the
for
next
sure.
one that I'll have access to is. But
It's
that's going to be
what,
something pretty neat.
It says like there's not going to be another one in the U.S. for like 20 years.
Oh, I think it's longer than that. I think it's
So for
much longer than that.
Yeah, much longer than that. So what I think I'll probably do is I'll try to find a composition that makes sense for like a wide time lapse.
Yeah.
And then I'll take one of the other Sonys and I'll probably try to do some like cool work content with like Zach under nods with the Eclipse, because I think that'd be so sick.
Dang.
So we'll do some night vision, like tactical stuff, because I'll be at work that day. I think it'll probably be super sick. So I'll probably go to the range and set up something kind of neat.
I'm going to think about it. There's some things I could do. If I do, oh man, I only have one camera. I might have to use my phone to do some time-lapse stuff. I don't know. I'm going to think about that one, but it should be fun.
Yeah. You don't got one of your old Nikons still?
Oh, I have my daughter's D3200.
Yo, I bet you can do something sweet.
We'll see.
Right on. So I had mentioned before we started recording, but tomorrow, unfortunately, there is a really gnarly alleged Sony Alpha rumor, and it sounds like there's going to be a fast, unique Sony lens being announced. If you were to take a guess of a unique, fast lens, what do you think it would be?
The 15-1.4 fisheye.
15-1.4 fisheye. Isn't that what Sigma just did?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
What would you want from a very experimental, super fast lens?
I don't know. It would probably be some stupid range, not a prime. It's a prime though, right? You say?
I don't think I know that.
I guess I don't know. Something stupid like a 16 to 50 f2 or something. I don't know.
I have no idea. They didn't have any information. The rumor will be announced tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say, I think because of the Paris Olympics and the A9 III, I think it's gonna be like a really dumb telephoto prime, like f2.
Oh.
I think they're gonna have like a stupid dummy, like $10,000 ultra fast, like a 400 f2 or some crazy BS. Even a 300 f2 would be insane.
I'm trying to think. Didn't they just do like a 150 to 300 or something like that? Didn't Sony just?
Canon did the 120 to 300 f2.
Oh, I think that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, they could totally be priming for that.
Well, Sony just did a 300 2.8, I think. Was that the one that Sony just did? That was super nuts.
They announced that last year. Did that come out this year?
I feel like it did. Yeah, the f2.8 it's a $6,000 prime, a 300 f2.8. So like I want to say it's going to be something crazier than that.
Oh, didn't Nikon just do like a 400 6.3 or something like that? That maybe they're priming for something along those lines.
Priming. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I think it'll be really cool. So
that makes a lot of sense, though. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's gonna be a telephoto that's like stupid dummy fast.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. At any rate, I think I'm gonna go eat. So I'm gonna cut this one just slightly shorter than we normally do. But I think we got a lot to talk about soon. I have these trips coming up. I'll link the Dead River Coffee stuff. We'll link all of our things. Do you have any final words of encouragement to our 17 viewers?
No. Suck it. Go make stuff.
Please go make stuff. Please share with us what you're making. I've been pretty bad about posting myself, but I'm still looking at Dank Shots 2024. So if you're out there shooting, you're the real ones. We'll catch you in the next one, and there will be photography in the next one.
Yes, there will be. I'll have shots to share. Maybe I'll have shots to share by the time you edit this, and then I'll go out and shoot some more. I promise, at least once.
We love that. All right, brother. Good talking to you. Talk to you in the next one.
Bye, guys.